gym reeked of sweat, ego, and overpriced protein shakes. Punching bags swung in slow rhythm. Loud music thumped. Phones were out. And in the middle of it all stood Brielle, 22 years old, in faded jeans, a worn-out hoodie, and non-slip work shoes, still stained with coffee syrup. She had come here for one reason: to watch, maybe to feel something again, maybe to remind herself of the things she had walked away from. But now all eyes were on her. Because the world champion, Monica Slade, had just turned the spotlight straight onto the quiet girl in the back. "Hold up," Monica said, pausing mid-demo. "You think you can fight?" Brielle hadn't said a word. She hadn't stepped forward. She had only picked up a dropped water bottle for a staff member. That was it. But it was enough. Enough for Monica to sniff weakness and decide to make an example. People laughed. Not all at once. First a snicker, then a ripple, then a full wave of mockery. Phones were filming now. This was content. Brielle looked at Monica, tall, sculpted, famous, everything the poster said she was, and vicious in the way only someone with too much power and not enough compassion could be. "You got hands, huh?" Monica smirked. "Come on then, let's see what that hoodie's hiding." Brielle froze. Not from fear, not yet, from calculation, from memory. From that buried instinct she had promised never to awaken. One step forward, one small nod, and everything changed. The laughter stopped. Monica blinked, then grinned wider, mistaking quiet confidence for cluelessness. "You're serious?" Brielle didn't answer. She didn't need to. The trainer hesitated. She's not even in gear." "Then I'll go light," Monica lied. Loud enough for the crowd. She didn't plan to go light. She planned to humiliate. Everyone thought it was over before it began. They saw a broke barista stepping into a lion's den. But what no one knew, what even Brielle had tried to forget, was that she had lived in the fire before, and sometimes it only takes a spark to wake it back up. The bell above the gym door had barely stopped ringing when Brielle stepped inside. No one noticed her at first. She wasn't wearing gym gear. Just a navy hoodie too big for her frame, black leggings, and those same battered work shoes. Her backpack hung off one shoulder, and a plastic coffee cup was still clutched in her hand like a lifeline. She didn't come here to fight. She came here to remember. Her dad used to train fighters in a place like this, a small, dusty garage with no AC and a leaky roof. She remembered the way his voice echoed through that space. Discipline first, power second. Ego, that stays outside. But there was no discipline here, only cameras, ring lights, music blaring, and at the center of it all, Monica Slade, undefeated champion, Instagram icon, and certified narcissist in a sports bra. Brielle leaned quietly against the wall, sipping her drink, watching. Her eyes scanned the ring, her hands itched. Not to fight, but to feel what it was like to belong again. She hadn't trained in years, not since Dad died, not since everything crumbled. College loans, 2 jobs, empty fridge, missed dreams. This place was supposed to be a break from all that. Just 30 minutes to stand in the back, invisible. But life had other plans. "Hey." The voice cut across the gym like a slap. Brielle looked up. Too late. Monica was pointing at her. "You lost, Hoodie Girl?" she said with a grin. "Or are you here to challenge the champ?" Laughter. Some forced, some real. Brielle blinked, confused. No, I just came to watch." She held up her cup awkwardly. Monica smirked. "That so? 'Cause from where I'm standing, you look like you got something to prove." The room shifted. People stopped hitting bags. Phones went up. "I'm good," Brielle said softly. "Really?" But Monica wasn't letting it go. Bullies never do when there's an audience. "You work out?" "Sometimes." "Boxed before?" Brielle hesitated. "A little." Wrong answer. Monica's eyes lit up like a shark that smelled blood. "Perfect," she said. "Let's go around. 1 minute. Friendly. For the fans." She gestured to the camera guy behind her. This wasn't about training. This was content. Someone in the back chuckled. "Damn, she about to catch a lawsuit." Another whispered, "Why'd she even say yes?" But Brielle hadn't said yes. Not yet. She looked around. Everyone staring. Some mocking, some curious. And then she saw her, A teenage girl, maybe 14, hiding behind her mom, holding gym gloves too big for her hands. She was watching Brielle and not laughing, just waiting. Brielle took a breath. Not deep, not dramatic, just enough. She put down her coffee, dropped her backpack, and nodded once. I'm in. Gasps. Even Monica blinked. Then she laughed. Okay, let's get you some gloves before you change your mind. No gloves, Brielle said calmly. 1 minute, right? Now even the trainers looked uneasy. The gym wasn't used to silence, but suddenly everyone went quiet. Don't do it, a voice said behind her. Brielle turned. Old man. Sweats. Big hands. Scar over his left brow. Trainer. The kind that's seen more knockouts than Instagram likes. You trained before? He said flatly. Brielle didn't answer. He nodded anyway. I saw that look. You're not here by accident. I'm just here to finish something, she whispered. He didn't ask what, didn't need to. Inside the ring, Monica bounced on her toes, laughing with her friends. This won't take long, she shouted. People gathered, phones everywhere. Another story for her feed. Another weak girl to crush for content. Brielle stepped onto the mat. No gloves, no mouthguard, no warm-up. But she didn't flinch, didn't blink. Her hands dropped to her sides, loose and ready. Her father's voice echoed in her head. Discipline first. Monica circled the ring like a lioness on camera. Her gloves were neon red, custom-stitched with her initials. Every movement was crisp, deliberate, trained for the spotlight as much as for impact. Behind her, the gym buzzed with artificial hype. A group of young fighters hooted and hollered, cheering their champion. Someone had started a live stream. The comment flood began, Who's the waitress? LMAO, this is murder. She gon' cry before round 1 ends. Brielle stood in her corner, still, silent, focused. No gloves, no fanfare, no sponsor logos, only a quiet flame burning behind her eyes, the kind of fire no camera could capture. Yo, Hoodie girl, Monica yelled from across the ring. You ready to be famous? Brielle looked up slowly. Been famous before, didn't like it. The crowd laughed, at first, then paused. The way she said it, too calm, too real. Monica tilted her head, smirking. Okay then. She raised her gloves. Let's dance. The bell rang. Not official. Someone just tapped a metal bar with a wrench. Didn't matter. It was on. Monica launched forward, flashy and loud. A jab combo, fast, sharp, clean. But Brielle wasn't there. She leaned just enough, slid just far enough. Like she'd seen the punch a full second before it came. Monica frowned. No contact. She reset. Another jab. Again, Brielle slipped under it, quiet and unbothered. The audience shifted. Phones rose higher. No one expected defense. Monica stepped in harder. Left hook, right cross. Textbook aggression? And again, Brielle moved like smoke. She wasn't panicking, she wasn't blocking. She was reading her. Like she had done this 1,000 times. Like she had taught this 1,000 times. The trainer in the back, the scarred one with the quiet eyes, leaned forward, muttered to himself, She's not reacting, she's calculating. 30 seconds in. No punches thrown from Brielle, but she was controlling the ring. Monica noticed and hated it. You scared? She barked. No, Brielle answered. Then swing, bitch. Still nothing. The crowd grew restless. Is this a fight or a TikTok? She all hype. Hit her already, Mon. And then Monica did something stupid. She lunged. No setup, no distance check, just ego. And Brielle's body moved on its own. Pivot, dip, I counter jab. Right to the ribs. Thwap, clean, sharp, perfectly placed. Not hard, but surgical. Monica stumbled. Eyes wide. That was not luck. That was technique. That was trained timing. The gym fell silent. Only the hum of lights, only the echo of breath. Monica smiled, but her jaw clenched. You got jokes now? Brielle just stood, hands still low, shoulders relaxed. You said 1 minute, she said. We got 20 seconds left. The audience was no longer laughing. Now they were watching, truly watching. Brielle wasn't scared. She wasn't out of place. She was in control. And that terrified Monica more than any punch ever could. 10 seconds left. Monica circled like a rattlesnake now. All hiss, no rhythm. Her punches weren't clean anymore. They were emotional, sloppy, tense. She'd felt that counter jab. It wasn't just the pain, it was the timing, the insult behind it, the message. I could have hit harder. I chose not to. And that, to someone like Monica, was worse than losing. Brielle stood her ground, breathing steady, elbows tucked. She hadn't trained in years, not since the night they buried her father with his championship gloves across his chest. But her body still remembered the drills, the rhythm, the rules he made her repeat until her knuckles bled. Never hit first, never hit to impress, never fight to win. Fight to finish what others start. 5 seconds, someone shouted. Monica roared, literally. She charged, a flurry of rage, fists flying, feet stomping, her braid whipping behind her like a war flag. The crowd gasped, some stood up. She was going for blood. Brielle moved like water. She didn't punch. She let Monica wear herself out. Every miss was a drain. Every failed strike chipped away at the mask of invincibility Monica wore like armor. Then, thwack. Not from Monica, from Brielle. A right cross fast fluid. No warning, straight to the chin. Monica buckled, not down, but close. And just like that, the minute was over. No bell, just a breathless hush. Brielle stepped back, hands by her side. Not gloating, not smiling, just done. Monica stood still, dazed. Mouth open, glove half raised, sweat dripping down her temple. Then she did something no one expected. She swung again, after time. A dirty hook, aimed at the back of Brielle's head. Someone screamed, but Brielle didn't flinch. She spun and ducked under, then stepped out of range before Monica could recover. "You're done," Brielle said coldly. "Time's up." "No," Monica barked. "One more round." "Why?" Brielle asked. "So you can feel smaller twice?" The silence in the gym cracked. Somebody laughed. Not with Monica, at her. It was the shift. The moment the room turned. "Enough!" the old trainer barked, stepping between them. "You said 1 minute," he said to Monica. "You got 1 minute. You lost." Monica's face was red, not from exertion, from humiliation. She yanked off her gloves, threw them to the mat, and stormed toward the locker room. But not before turning to Brielle and spitting one final line. "You think this means something? You're nothing." Brielle didn't reply. She didn't have to. Everyone saw what happened, and silence was louder than anything she could say. As she picked up her backpack and walked to the door, the teenage girl from earlier stepped into her path. Tiny gloves. Big eyes. Trembling. "You were amazing," she whispered. Brielle stopped. Kneeled, took the girl's gloves and adjusted the strap gently. "You will be too," she said. "But promise me one thing." The girl nodded. "Never fight for the camera, only for yourself." The video hit 1.2 million views in the first 5 hours. No music, no edits, just raw gym footage, shaky hands, bad lighting, and the moment Monica Slade got schooled by a nobody in a hoodie. The caption read, "Local barista embarrasses world champ in friendly sparring match." And the internet devoured it. Clips of Brielle's footwork went viral on fight fan pages. Slow-motion breakdowns flooded TikTok. People started calling her the Ghost because of how she slipped punches like she wasn't even there. Meme edits hit Instagram. YouTubers titled their reactions, "The Day Monica Got Humbled." Who is Brielle James, and where did she learn that? Brielle saw the video the next morning. Not from her feed, she didn't use socials much, but from her shift manager at the cafe. "Yo, that's you, right?" he asked, turning his phone around. She squinted, paused, then sighed. "Yeah," she muttered. "That's me." By noon, the cafe was full of strangers, not customers. Content creeps, clout chasers. Someone tried filming her while she poured espresso. Another slid a note across the counter. Fight me next. And then came the DM and blue check, Monica Slade. You think this is funny? You humiliated me. You owe me a rematch. Public, real rules, or I'll ruin you. No. Hello? No apology, just venom. Brielle stared at the message. Not angry, just tired. This wasn't what she wanted. She didn't ask for a following. She didn't swing for revenge. She defended herself, quietly, with discipline. And now the whole world was demanding a show. By nightfall, news outlets had picked it up. Not sports media, tabloids. Rising boxing star appears out of nowhere, humbles champion. Monica Slade's silent after humiliating sparring session. Some called it refreshing. Others called it fake. One headline even suggested Brielle was a plant, trained secretly by underground pros. She laughed at that one. Only person who ever trained her was her dad. And he was gone. She walked home in the rain that night, hoodie up, earbuds in, trying to stay invisible. But something had shifted. Even in the silence, she could feel it. The world had seen her. And once they see you, they don't unsee you. They demand more. At 2:13 a.m., her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. No ID, just one sentence. We saw what you did. We want to sponsor you. And a logo. Not a local gym. Not a hype brand, a global sports agency. The logo at the bottom of the message glowed like a neon trap. Valiant Sports International. They didn't just manage athletes, they manufactured icons. Boxers, Olympians. YouTubers who turned into billionaires. If you wore their patch, your face was on billboards, cereal boxes, and late-night talk shows. And now they wanted her. Brielle sat alone in her studio apartment. One room, one sink, and a heater that made strange noises when it rained. The offer was sitting open on her phone. Plain words, legalese, the usual bait. We see potential for a brand trajectory that merges authenticity with technical brilliance. 1-year contract, full training sponsorship, brand development, 6 figures minimum in the first cycle. And the line that made her stomach twist. All fights must be sanctioned, recorded, and marketed under Valiant's media wing. In other words, they didn't just want the fighter, they wanted the story. The myth, the marketing product. She stared at her phone for a long time, then called the only person who might understand. Coach Samuel Barnes hadn't picked up a phone past 10 p.m. in 5 years, except tonight. Didn't think you'd call, he said. His voice was rough, like gravel soaked in whiskey. I didn't think I'd need to, Brielle replied. You read the contract? Yeah? And? They want to turn me into a brand. He chuckled. Of course they do. You know how rare you are? I didn't ask to be. He paused, then said softly, Neither did Ali. She was quiet. Coach continued, Look, they'll dress you up, pick your nickname, script your anger, rewrite your history so it fits their sales pitch. But here's the thing. His voice dropped. They can't sell what you won't give. The next morning, Brielle arrived at Valiant's headquarters in downtown ELA. 30-second elevator ride, polished steel. She wore the same hoodie from the fight. At the table sat 3 execs, 1 lawyer, and a woman in designer heels who introduced herself as Brand Director of Combat Personalities. Whatever that meant. We want to take your authenticity, she said with a smile, and make it global. Brielle raised an eyebrow. How do you do that without killing it? The room laughed, but she didn't. They offered her training with world-class coaches, a fight schedule, a Netflix docuseries, and yes, a rematch with Monica, this time on pay-per-view. America loves a comeback, one exec said, especially when it's personal. Brielle leaned back in the chair. Here's the thing, she said. You're asking me to perform pain. No, the brand director corrected. We're asking you to own it, publicly, with purpose. Brielle smiled. Cold sharp. You want me to fight Monica? They nodded. Then tell her to come to the cafe, she said. I'll bring the gloves. She stood up, didn't shake hands, didn't take the gift bag. And as she walked out the glass doors into the sunlit morning, her inbox buzzed again. Another offer, this time not from a brand, from a name she hadn't heard since she buried her father. Jax Myers, a former underground fighter, her dad's last student. His message was simple. You're not done. Come see me. Let's train. On your terms. The gym didn't have a name, just a peeling green door and a faded mural of a fist on the brick wall outside. Inside, dust, rust, and history. No ring lights, no playlist. Just the steady rhythm of leather hitting leather, and a man waiting in the shadows with his hands wrapped. Jax Myers, late 40s, built like a granite wall, tattooed forearms, eyes that had seen too many fights, in and out of the ring. He didn't say hello, just nodded. Let's see if you still got it. For the next 6 weeks, Brielle disappeared from the internet. No cafe shifts, no interviews, no TikToks. Just calloused hands, bruised ribs, 5 a.m. runs and sparring rounds that ended in silence, not applause. Jax didn't praise, he didn't coddle. He reminded her who she was before the cameras, before the labels, before the myth, before the hoodie meant anything to anyone else. Word got out anyway. Someone leaked footage from the gym. Grainy, no sound. But it spread like wildfire. She's back. The rematch was never officially announced, but that didn't stop it from happening. A private venue? A rented warehouse? No audience, just cameras. 2 fighters, 1 ring. Valiant begged her to wear branded gear. She showed up in gray sweats. No logos, no glam. Just laced gloves and a quiet stare. Monica was already in the ring. This time, different. Not cocky. Not cruel, just tense. She hadn't posted in weeks. The internet hadn't forgotten her fall. And now she was facing it again. No announcers, just the sound of gloves tightening. Monica raised hers first. Brielle nodded, and the fight began. This time, it wasn't about ego. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't cruel. It was violent. Real, honest. Clean. Brielle didn't just dodge. She pressed forward, not to humiliate, to prove to herself, to the world, that she didn't just survive that gym, she owned it. In round 3, she landed a body shot that folded Monica in half. Not enough to knock her out, enough to end the fight. The ref stepped in. No cheering, no screaming, just the bell. Monica sat in her corner, heaving, looked up and whispered, "Thank you." Brielle didn't answer. She just nodded, stepped out of the ring, and walked into a world that would never see her the same way again. 1 month later, she opened her own gym. Small, quiet. No mirrors, no merch. Just tape on the floor, old gear, and a sign on the wall that read, "Discipline first." People came. Young girls. Burned out pros. Quiet kids with twitchy hands. People who didn't want fame. They just wanted to fight for themselves. And they found her.